Well, when you talk about turnarounds, geez, is this a turnaround or what? Narine making it rain, Rana's getting the runs, and Kolkata having been put into bat and dawdling at the end of the power play, dawdling at the end of the eighth over, magically close to 200 now. Well, the magic, yes, it came from Narine and Rana. They have reached 194 for the loss of six at the end of 20 overs. Nitish Rana, 81 of 53. Sunil Narine is 64 at a 200 strike rate. And were very, very impressive, of course, from Kolkata. What a turnaround. Have Pommie and Polly here with me. Pommie, what a turnaround. That magic from 8 to 15. Jeez, Delhi didn't know where to hide.
Absolutely unbelievable. So in that time, normally what you get is sides unsure of how to play it as they try and set themselves up for the end. And it's been the time where Delhi have managed to profit by, Ashwin and Akshar coming in and making sure that nothing happens. In fact, they've continued to take wickets in that time. This time around, it didn't matter who they bowled. Well, Rana and Narine were on fire. Yep. Shots galore, just shots absolutely everywhere. And yeah, it's good to see, because we at the start of the tournament, we said that this side has the potential to do so. I must say, it was surprising for me in terms of it being Narine who gets it all started and it gets going. As far as Rana is concerned, we know that he can play those shots. We know he can play that way. And so some of the shots that he's played are not a surprise to us. However, that they get it together, their hope is the spark that they've needed to kind of spark their whole side into action.
They almost threw it away, Polly, with that little run-out chance. If Akshar just lobbed the ball to Nokia, right? Narine had just given up, but Akshar decided to go for the direct hit. Very early on, this game could have been completely different, but that's the kind of luck you need going your way when you want to launch a turnaround.
Yeah, it is. And, when you've worked in the management part and the coaching side, you do stress the point of how valuable a brilliant catch or a bit of fielding or things along those lines can be in a T20 match. And Nokia did brilliantly. Once he realized there was confusion, he got back to the stumps. But it needed a cool head from Akshar just to pop the ball into his hands, because Narine had stopped. He had basically parked his anchor halfway in the pitch and was just waiting to see the current took him where. And it's a case in point. You practice those kind of things because you know how important dismissal at that time, and Delhi could have really done with it. It was really impressive. We said at the 10 over interval chat that the Mid-innings chat that the only reason could be that they wanted him to go and play with freedom, and he did. He expressed himself brilliantly, and it paid off. For me, still, Morgan 9 balls of an innings. I would definitely think that him and Karthik would have to swap roles. The only time I've seen Karthik in this tournament play a decent knock has been at the back end in the last 3 or 4 overs, where he gets down sweeps and plays that way, whereas Morgan can control things a bit better. So definitely a change between those two. But the experiment to put Narine at that stage, brilliant from Kolkata.
Pommie, they could have. Kolkata will go back, and of course they've got a lot from this, but they will go back and say, at the position that we were in, we could have closed this game out. We would have done better than 50 of the last 5 after what happened between 9 and 15.
Yeah, look, I think a side that's going well will say that. A side that has been batting well will say we could have closed this out better. And I agree with it. They could have and probably should have closed it out better at the back end and got more than 52. However, for them, I think it's more about the big picture. How they've got to 194 is kind of more important, because how many times do they have to bat to get that, comparing what happened the time before? So you just take what you can get sometimes. Yeah, 2.5 times. There you go. But you take what you can get sometimes and you move along with it in the hope that if some part of what you're trying to do is correct, it will then help with the other part. And the first part was okay, and it was only okay, right, when they lost a couple of wickets early. And so, yeah, the middle was more than they'd have ever dreamed of.
Yeah, I think also the mindset, wasn't it, of the first 4. I mean, Rana for the first part of his innings, including Gill, and Kartik and Tripathi, it was almost like those guys were just thinking, let's get a score on the board and then see if we can kind of defend it. It was only when Narine came in, and I don't think he thinks about his game too much. He was like, well, I'm going to play. And once he got going, I think they'd have to pinch themselves. I know they didn't finish as strong as they might have been able to, but I think 115, 56 balls between that combination, I think they'd honestly be pinching themselves. And now they've given them a real opportunity. Narine will obviously try and play a part with the ball as well. But we've seen a few videos come out of the Delhi Capitals. I wouldn't mind having a look at the video between Ricky Ponting and Ashwin after this match about what were you thinking? You're an off spinner. Why are you bowling those googly? I mean, he's probably bowled more googlies in this match than he has in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
He didn't back his normal, hit the length, top of off stump kind of delivery, slide them in, vary the pace. And he also was working with a big boundary at one stage. So, I wasn't quite sure what the thinking was there. And in many ways, it played into Kolkata's hands perfectly.
I think it was a chess game between two grandmasters. Right? Sunil Narayan's done this. Ashwin's done this a lot. And it was, I think what happened is the guy who was calmer won, the guy who was trying to be too cute and too innovative, which Ashwin should have probably just backed his talent rather than go all cute. But, well, that's what happened. It was really Sunil Narayan's day. But I tell you what, the Delhi batting unit will probably come out, look at what Kolkata has done between 9 and 15 and look around and say, that's how you play that part. Because we didn't do that well in the last game. They were dismal. When they got to the 160 odd with Shikhar getting 100, it was that part by 9 to 14, 9 to 15 that really let them down. They were going for 6, 7, 8, perhaps an over.
The other side, if you look at Shikhar's innings, he managed to just keep going. And in fact, this happened not just in that game, in the previous game as well, where his strike rate was really good for most of the game. Not necessarily all of the game, but for most of the game, his was good. And the other side was not up to what it should be.
I think also what plays a part is the smaller boundary on the one side. The last game, they were right in the middle of the Dubai surface, if I'm not correct. And, sometimes these smaller boundaries, people can bully individuals, hit them out the ground and also plays on the mind of the bowlers, what option should I go? And that seemed to be what affected Ashwin today. I mean, he was trying to bowl the wide ones, trying to spin it away so they couldn't hit to the short boundary. So, I would expect a better middle period from Delhi with that extra little element being part of it.
Of course, as usual, Rabada, usual service, picking up the
got his two.
Yeah, he got his two. He's done his bit. Nokia was good, of course, the most economical of all the bowlers. Akshar Patel just bowled the one over for 7 runs, but didn't see him again. It's like, where did he go? But I guess it was Pommie, a ground that was just not taking any spin at all.
Yeah, I mean, with the Akshar Patel scenario, I think it was very much a case of left armour and these two left-handed batsmen going, lamb to the slaughter sort of thing, because they were clearing the boundary and they'd made their intentions clear. Having gone to Ashwin and probably, as Polly said, the reason to go to him is to say this way because they're hitting that way, and you can do that conventionally. And he's a wonderful bowler, Ashwin, but he's gone away from what has made him a wonderful bowler there and played right into the trap and then paid the price. He then went to all seamers, didn't he? He decided, right, all my fast men are the ones I'm going to use today, and they're the guys who bowled out all their overs.
Let's have a look at the Delhi batting, because if you back a batting attack, well, a few weeks ago to get this, not going by the last few games, because with the last few games, you see that this famed Delhi batting has had a few hiccups in the middle, right? They've lost a couple of early wickets. They not got runs from Prithvi. That's why Prithvi is not there today. Rahane opens perhaps with Shikhar. You've got Shreyas, Pant, Hetmeyer, Stoinis, Akshar coming in at 7. Pearly, they've got the firepower to go at, close to 10 and over.
Yeah, they've got some depth there. We've seen what Akshar's done, and even Ashwin can definitely play a part. I think the surface suits them a little bit better than what we've seen so far in the last few games that they've played, where it's just been holding up. I mean, Shikhar came into his own brilliantly on the surface that held up a bit. I mean, all his experience of playing on the Indian surface that he's gathered over the years, I think he was superb. But in many ways, I think they are a batting unit who likes it to come on. So if they get off to a good start, I mean, he must be booming with confidence. You were talking earlier about peaking. What does Shika means peaking?
Shikhar means
As
peak.
long-
Shikhar means the peak of a mountain.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't move from the peak to the food. We're Peking duck. We don't want him to get a 200 and then a duck.
Nice. Well done.
So we'll be hoping that him and Ajinki get off to a good start. And if they do, then they have got that middle order. And on that surface, I mean, if you think of Kolkata over the years, they've said, listen, in the middle overs, our spinners, we'll dominate and we'll try and create pressure. The way it looked like it was sliding on today, it might be a bit challenging. So I think the surface will mean that they play better.
I liked how you did that. All right. More bowling options today for Kolkata, Pommie. They've got an additional bowling option today. Once we have a look at that squad open, I mean, you've got your quick bowlers with Cummins and Loki. You've got Nagarkoti and Krishna. And then you've got your spinners. So Varun and Narine. So he's got 2 of each, hasn't he? 2 foreign quicks, 2 Indian quicks, and 2 spinners.
Yeah, and look, I think to keep it simple is probably the way. Who are the men who are in the best form? Number one, is Lockie Ferguson. Give him the ball. Just unleash him at them. And he bowls fast. I mean, we've said it all through the tournament, actually. The teams that have fast bowlers, how about just test match length, right? Hits top of off at the start, fast as you like. And if that doesn't work, well, then you can shift to other things. But there are not too many that will be getting that away at the start of the game. So, yeah, hopefully that's the way he goes. And Cummins as well, keeping it simple. Let's see how fast you can be to these guys, unsettle them right at the beginning and set the tone.
Shikhar has been a little like Thor, but if you want to battle Thor, you got to put Loki up front. Just put him there. Yeah, put him. Will they do that or not? Well, the thing with Kolkata is we could just never guess who's going to get the ball, who's going to get the bat. You just have no idea what's going to happen. But as Pommie and Polly say, perhaps your best chance is give your quick bowler like Ferguson, let him make the inroads. Rahane, remember, not too high on confidence. Yes, will be opening today. Hasn't got the scores. Has come in place of Prithvi Shaw. So he is wanting to grab that chance and cement his place. Can he do that? Well, so your best chance, of course, would be your quickest. Well, quick prediction, gentlemen, in terms of our badge of honor, because we all got it horribly wrong. We all were low-balling it, 140, 150, 160. Nowhere close. So we'll do a power play one, right? Let's do power. How much does Delhi get in the power play for a My 11 Circle badge of honor? 52.
I'm thinking new man at are you going 52? I'm thinking new man at the crease, hasn't had much cricket. Chica, I'm going 49.
49, 52. Pommie.
Yeah, I'm going 45.
45.
We bunched.
Yeah, we're bunched together. I just want to tell you though, as I've just been told in my ear, first ball, wicket, Ajinkya Rahane, Pat Cummins. First ball, low on confidence, even lower now. I should have not told you and brought my 52 slyly down to like 39 or something. But I am honest. I shall not cheat. Well, we're going to have... Yeah, well, it is what it is. We've got Shreyas now, who's going to be batting with Shikhar. So let's see what the two can do. Or can the Kolkata bowlers make them go shh? I gotta quit now while I'm ahead. Cricbuzz Combox at the end of the 10th over is when we will see you next. A big thank you to both Pommie and Shaun for joining us on My 11th Circle Presents Cricbuzz Live. It's been fun as usual. See you in a bit.